I am Wendy Wheeler. I've been a member of First Baptist Lawrence for going on 30 years now. I grew up in a family of parents that were Christians. My mother was actually an American Baptist short-term missionary in the mid-50s, and she went to Japan, and she met my father there. He was there in the military and had done some volunteer work at the mission house she lived in. And my father came home 14 months before my mother came home, and I found a box full of letters, and my father wrote a love letter to my mother every day for 14 months. One of my fondest memories of my early years with my mother, especially, people my generation and a little younger will probably remember the turquoise colored Bible story books that came in like 10 or 11 volumes. And every night we would go in and sit on the floor beside my brother's bunk bed, and Mom would read us stories from those Bible story books. And we read through that series of books so many times. I wish I still had those books for my grandchildren, but we would sit and then we would pray together. We would talk about those that we needed to pray for. We would talk about what we needed to pray for ourselves and our family. And Mom taught us our faith. And having lost her this year, it makes me appreciate more and more what she taught me. I'm so grateful that I lost her when I lost her so that I couldn't spend the time with her. But when I was in high school, I was a part of the first year that Youth Leader Corps existed in Kansas. And Cheryl Harrider was actually one of my leaders. But we were taught that it's okay to question. It's okay to ask, well, why do we believe this? And why does the Bible say this? And a lot of other people who grew up American Baptist will remember Camp Christie in Fredonia, and having spent every summer at Camp Christie in Fredonia, it was a wonderful place to explore your faith and in the out of doors. Going to Ottawa University, I was involved in a lot of the ministries there, and once again was allowed to question my faith and question why I believed what I believed. And I think those were very foundational years. Mom and Dad set a wonderful foundation for me. My Sunday school teachers set a wonderful foundation for me. I had a Sunday school teacher who went blind. And when she realized she was going blind, she memorized most of the Bible. Elsie Woosley down in Chanute, Kansas. People like that just you look back and man, they were building blocks in my life. What faith means to me now is having something that I can look to beyond myself, put my cares into His hands. Not easy to do, especially right now. I had a staff member that I work with comment when I lost my father in November, my mother in January. God was in everything that I experienced with my father, everything that I experienced with my mother, made me realize so much more what they had done for me growing up, and what I hope that I have instilled in my children and my grandchildren. Faith is just what you have to look forward to, I guess. You look forward to not only, heaven, obviously, but a life that that God is in control. And sometimes that control is not something you understand at all. You can give it over to somebody else or something or some being or some, I don't know how, when we talk about God and growing up, it was always God the Father. But I've come to the understanding that God is more than God the Father. He is God the Mother, God the Father, God the everything. And omnipotence and the overreaching love of God, no matter what is happening in our lives and in our world and around us, God is. And that's the biggest thing, just God is.